Because Joey, our guest, the Veiled Cottage Witch, is going to share her thoughts on ethics, and Angel from Copper Moon Magick will be talking about the divine feminine. Thank you, friends, and welcome to the Spirit Tribe.
Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Frankie, and welcome to the Spirit Tribe Tea Talk show or podcast if you're listening, because we are on iHeartRadio, Apple, Amazon, and Spotify. So you can listen to us on any of those as a podcast also. So today we have some really great guests that are joining us, and we have some great topics we're going to talk about. So we have Angel joining us today from Copper Moon Magick, and he's going to be talking about the divine feminine. And our show is all kind of magical today. So we're going to talk about, Joey is from the Veiled Cottage Witch. We're going to talk about priests and priestesses and goddesses. So today it's going to be a really fun, interesting show. So if you have any questions or comments, also if you want to win the free prize at the end of the show, drop a comment in because your name gets entered into the raffle if you're here live with us today. And also don't forget, if you like our channel and you like what we're doing, we're here to talk about everything spiritual and metaphysical. And we do the show once a month, every second Wednesday of the month, 4:30 Arizona time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Like, subscribe. We're on YouTube at A Little Bit of Kindness. All right. And I want to welcome our first guest today, Angel. I'm so glad that you're here today. And let me bring you on to the main stage here. And thank you for joining us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Frankie. And thanks everybody for letting me join. My name's Angel. I'm priest of Hecate, also a Reiki master. Today I'm going to be talking about the divine feminine, why I follow her, how it shaped my life, and what it really means to walk with the divine feminine, specifically with Hecate. So when we talk about the divine feminine, I'm not talking about just worship or devotion. I'm talking about a living relationship that literally transforms how I see myself and how I face my shadows, specifically when we talk about the shadow self or working with the shadow work, the inner traumas within. So the divine feminine, when you want to find out what exactly are we talking about, well, we're not talking about a single goddess or an archetype. Hecate is the anima mundi. That means she's the soul of the world. So she's creation, destruction, transformation, and balance. And she's the rhythm of the moon, the tides, cycles of birth and rebirth and death. Can be fierce when needed and gentle when called for, but she's unafraid of darkness. So she walks in the places where others fear to go. So when you think about dark entities, Hecate, Persephone, Lilith, Kali, and a whole host of others, they're often associated with death, the underworld, the left-hand path. All these figures carry similar associations, but that's not all that they represent. They actually symbolize the inner darkness that's within each of one of us, that shadow self that carries the wounds that we have from when we were born. And it really represents the greatest untapped power that each and every one of us as magical creatures have. So why do I follow her? Well, my path began because I felt something missing in my spirituality and how it was presented to me. In the religion that I was born into, the feminine voice was muted, it was diminished, and in many cases it was demonized. So Dr. Cindy Brannon, she's a high priestess of Hecate, and I echo her words very much, and she was the one who taught me and put me on my path. She's not only a high priestess, but she's also a doctor of psychology. She speaks about how many women, and I would add many men, and those beyond the binary have been conditioned to really fear the sacred feminine. And with good reason. It's unbelievably powerful. So Brennan talks about Hecate's cave, and this is a metaphor for turning inward, weaving spirituality and psychology together to heal the deeper self. So the cave is not a place of punishment. It's a place of truth. It's where we literally strip away our illusion, not only the illusion that the world has given us, but the illusion that we give ourselves. So when you think about Hecate, and she has many different epithets, one of them is called Phoberos, the fearful. And that's not because she terrifies us for her own sake, but because she reveals the fears that we've buried. And these are fears that are born from trauma, from societal expectations, years of suppressing how we talk, how we dress, how we act, and how we feel. And these fears, they keep each one of us small. So what we fear most is not weakness. It's literally our own potential to be powerful, even fearsome. Now, when we turn to Hecate, we turn away from the solar glare. And that's the false light, the false consumerism and photoshopped beauty and dopamine-driven social media, patriarchal control. See, this glare, it pretends to be truth, but what it really does is it keeps us numb or anxious or both. The anima within us, this is the sacred feminine. It's emotional, it's intuitive, generative, and deeply knowing. The animus side, this is the sacred masculine, and it's will and fire, structure, and clarity. See, the animus is not the false glare. It's a steady flame. So when you align anima and animus together, they act with wisdom and strength together. So Hecate literally stands at the crossroads, as she's known as the goddess of the crossroads, and she asks, hey, are you content being trapped in that false light? Or will you take my hand by the light of the moon, and I will show you truth? My twin torches guide you, and the animus and anima within you, that will give you the strength to act. So when you enter the cave, it separates us from the madness of the world. We don't just fear society, we fear our own power. It's our ability to command, our ability to intimidate, to invoke awe in others. And that fearsome part of us is sacred. I'm talking about our sovereignty. We can also think of it as our boundaries, the thing that's a lot of times we have trouble setting. So anger, guilt, anxiety, these aren't flaws. They're signals. And when we leave them in the shadow, they immobilize us. But when we bring them into the consciousness, they become fuel. It's that righteous rage. It's the courage. It's the strength. So when you enter the cave, you're choosing love. Love of your whole self, not just parts of it. And we've been taught to reject parts of ourselves, haven't we? So it's to walk into your own Phoberos, the totality of what frightens you, and begin that transformation. This is Hecate Triformis. This is her path. And when you walk it, you discover that, hey, you're radiant. You're whole. In fact, you always were. So how has this changed my life by doing this? I mean, following Hecate has taught me that endings are really the beginnings in disguise. She's given me keys, literally symbolic and literal ones, that have unlocked healing in myself and in other people. So I've learned that if I want to help others, and I mean truly help others, I have to face my own inner pain. Because if you don't, all you see is the surface of someone's suffering. You don't really understand the depths that they carry within. So it's made me braver in my choices. It's made me more compassionate to others and to myself. And it's allows me to sit with uncertainty instead of fearing it. So when you work with the divine feminine, we're not just healing our own minds and spirits. We're literally awakening the body's own centers of powers. And those of you who are work with Reiki or work with chakra healing or holistic healers, you understand this. One of the most important in this work is the sacral chakra. It is the seat of creativity, sensuality, pleasure, the very life force itself. In other words, it lets us experience joy, that deep connection, raw vitality. It's the thing that makes life worth living. And it's true. Nobody comes up with a bunch of facts and just says, oh, that's so great. That's why I'm glad to be alive. Nobody does that. You know, It's these things that make life worth living. And the sacral chakra, it's the womb space. Now, whether or not you have a physical womb or not, this is where creation takes form. It's where ideas become reality. It's where things are born, where love becomes action, and where the sacred dance between the feminine and the masculine begins, because the chakra above that is the solar plexus, which is the divine masculine. Now, when you block the sacral chakra, shame, fear, suppression, trauma, we lose our ability to create, to feel, and to connect. And think about it, on a global scale, our world, it reflects this blockage. And if you don't believe me, I challenge you to turn on the news for 5 minutes, because that's what's happening. The patriarchy, or toxic masculinity, if you will, these are systems that are built on domination. They've repressed the feminine. In fact, they repress life itself. We just got through talking about the sacral chakra being what life is worth living. They've taught generations to see receptivity as weakness, emotion as instability, and pleasure as sin. So in doing so, they've literally severed humanity from the things that sustain us. Now, understand the difference. Masculinity is not toxic, and toxic masculinity is not masculine. But she stands up, the divine feminine, and she says, it is enough. She restores the current, and she says, your capacity to feel, that's your strength. Your ability to nurture, that's your power. And your creativity, well, that's your birthright. Here's the truth. When the feminine is honored, the masculine doesn't diminish. Instead, it finds its rightful place, not as a force of domination, but as a guardian, a structure, if you will, that protects and supports that flow of life that we all yearn for. The healthy masculine, in balance with the feminine, it becomes willpower without cruelty, strength without oppression, and clarity without arrogance. So this, I believe, is the path to really healing a divided world. We need to awaken the sacral chakra in ourselves, honor the divine feminine and the masculine in their sacred forms. Let's rebuild our cultures based upon that instead of dominance, which we so see in the world today. And it starts with me. It starts with you. It starts with us. We have to clear our own blockages, reclaim the creativity, and not apologize for the power of our joy, pleasure, and love. And as each of us does this, we literally start to send a ripple outward into the world, into the collective, and we show a new way forward where life is honored, nurtured, and protected. So as a practice, and I would ask everyone to try this, to enter the cave, sit with something reflective. You can sit with a mirror or some kind of reflective water, maybe a black bowl is ideal. And I want you to look at yourself. I mean, truly see your whole face. Not just like when you put makeup on and you see your eye or your lips are over here. Look at your whole self and soften your gaze. This lets the soul vision come forward. And then start to feel the dualities that are within you. There's light, there's shadow. That's the see the anima and the animus. Reflect on and start to journal about it. This can open a door to a much deeper conversation with yourself. You know, the kind that Hecate herself invites you to have. So the divine feminine, it's not an accessory to spirituality. She is its heartbeat. She teaches us that shadow is not our enemy. It's our teacher. When we embrace her, we embrace the whole. So Hecate literally stands at the threshold for all of us. Her twin torches are blazing, and she's asking each of us, are you ready to see yourself for who you truly are? Now, if your answer is yes, I recommend take her hand, enter the cave, and let her light guide you home. This is everything I had to share with everyone today. I hope this has been of value. If there's questions, I would love to take them at this time.
Great. Thank you so much, Angel. That was so powerful. I don't know about anybody else. Let me put us to a group chat.
Yes. Oh my
I
God.
just have to say all the love for you in the messages here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Namaste.
Yes.
I'm not going to follow that.
Right? You'll be okay, Joey. They're gonna love you. You're different. It's different. So
Love you.
I do have a quick question, Angel. It's Hecate?
Yes,
Okay.
Hecate.
What made you, out of all the modalities, what made you get into something that was with the divine feminine? Was it because obviously you had to do all your shadow work, which is, woo, any healer has to do a lot of shadow work, but that was just my question. What made you choose? What got you?
You know, it's she who called me, and this is true of many people. When people have gone through a lot and they tend to start getting to the point to where they're reaching rock bottom, and I can tell you it's a big story that I couldn't go into in a few minutes, but at a certain point, she called to me. And when that happened, I knew the path that I had to take.
I love that. Thank you.
Very interesting. Fascinating. Yes. Thank you for sharing.
and
I love
Angel,
that,
you
Angel.
also do other things than this. Tell us a little bit about, you do some house clearing, right? And you do healing work at the Wellness Center in Bisbee. So if people want to reach out to you to do that, or if they're interested in learning more about working with Hecate, tell us a little bit about how they can reach out to you and what's available to them.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, as a healer, you know, I'm keenly interested in people's well-being, emotionally and physically. But I also do space clearing, because it's one thing to heal your body, but then to walk back into a space that might not be the best place for you. And we've all done it. We've stayed in a hotel room or gone into a room or a house or an area and said, ugh, doesn't feel too good in here. You know, that's where I come in. And whether we're talking about just simple negativity or actually dealing with negative entities, you know, I want to clear that area for you and help remove that which doesn't serve you. And when it comes to Hecate, I've been given a key by her to teach others and really show others what she represents and how she can help you. And I'm just privileged to even been called by her. But if you want to know more about Hecate, I would love an opportunity to talk to you.
Can I talk
One last quick question.
Oh, can I talk a little bit about that, Angel? Because I wanted to say that what Angel said about how you don't necessarily go choose Hecate. She really does talk to you, tap you on the shoulder and say, hi, are you ready? Only she goes, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? And this kept happening to me, and Angel was there to kind of pull the veil back a little and explain to me what was going on. And he's been guiding me and helping me understand this, because it's a lot, but it's amazing. So thank you, Angel, for the clarification on all of these things and for sharing this with all of us and for all of your guidance as well.
Thank
So
you.
just real quick, there was a question. What was an eye-opening moment for you during your shadow work involving the divine feminine?
Oh, that's a big question. Well, it has to do a lot in recognizing my role in what I was taught since birth, in both religion and in the patriarchal society, and understanding that I need to change my mindset, change my way of doing, change my heart, and abandon that false light and recognize that the divine feminine, the healing that can go on, needs to come from that direction and not from the patriarchal society. So it was a bit of an ouch, but it was definitely a good thing in my life.
No. And I think it couldn't, with what's going on in society, what you just talked about, like couldn't have hit home more, I think, just with everything. So I really appreciate it. I think it's awesome. Your kids love you. You've got a lot of great comments. Bonnie sent out something. Bobby's here. We're going to have Bobby on the show soon. I have to get in touch with him. That's great. So any more questions for Angel before we go forward, guys, or comments or anything? No? Thank you so much, Angel, for sharing. If you want to stay and enjoy the rest of the show with us, please do. So let's go on now, and I want to just talk about my thing to talk about for the show today was about, I think it was the planets or astrology. I know someone else had this too, but tomorrow, well, it's tonight because I printed this out yesterday, but the 12th and the 13th, up to 100 meteors per hour will blaze across the sky. It's called Perseids, the meteors, the Perseid's meteor shower, and it peaks in August. And I Googled, like, what does it mean spiritually when you hear about these meteor showers? But I was kind of like, well, what does it mean? You could go out and watch them, right? And I don't know if have anybody gone out to see them? Anyone seen them?
Not recently.
Okay, so I guess they're in the sky. Other than
it keeps raining here.
Yeah, we've had a lot of cloud cover, so we haven't been able to see the Perseids almost at all this season.
Darn, because I think you would. Yeah. No, I had the full moon the last 2 nights, like this whole week, shine in my bedroom window in my new bedroom and wake me up at 1 or 2, just shining right in my face like the sun. And I was so hot, and I woke up like between 1 and 2, and it was like I was getting a moon bath. It was amazing. And I don't always see it, and I didn't even know I would see it in my new bedroom and in my new place, but it came right in my bedroom window.
What you're saying is that spirit is putting the spotlight on you.
I like that. I was trying to think, gosh, why is this right in my face? Maybe I need a bigger curtain. No, but the meaning of this meteor shower was divine messages, personal transformation, and manifestation. So just something to think about with these meteor showers. If you get out, I know it looks like we're going to have a storm, although maybe it'll pass us over. Look and see if you see these meteors. And remember, there's a divine message. There's personal transformation and manifestation. So wish on a star is what I would say. If you saw one, I'd be like, oh, there's a shooting star, right? So, okay. And I guess what else do we have? Who's got an affirmation today? What's our affirmation?
That was me. I won that draw.
Okay.
So I followed Val's lead on that, kind of with her chat GPT and all that good stuff. I've become a huge fan recently. I mean, it's a lot of fun to play with. So the daily affirmation that came up today is, I am a radiant vessel of healing and light. My words, my work, my presence ripple love through every soul I touch.
Aww.
Today, still going. There's one more.
Okay.
There's one more. So today, I trust the divine flow and honor the sacred rhythm of my journey. And I know several of us need to hear some of this. So I'm going to read it one more time. I am a radiant vessel of healing and light. My words, my work, and my presence ripple love through every soul I touch. Today, I trust the divine flow and honor the sacred rhythm of my journey.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I like that. I need to hear that. So thank you.
A lot of
Kendra.
us did. Yeah.
All right. Who's got their cups? Should we raise a glass and toast to a better a better month, a better couple of weeks coming up, and to
Right.
our wonderful guests today, right?
Yes.
Drink up. Hopefully you have something good in those cups. So, okay. I just want to send out a teaser because we have two wonderful guests, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on us just talking, although we're going to go to one guest so that we can banter more back and forth. However, I want to announce that Shannon went to Hawaii and went swimming with the sharks, and
I got the first picture. I got the first shark picture. First dive out in the wild picture.
So Shannon, beautiful pictures, and she's going to put some of those videos up for us to use on the app that's going to be coming out before the end of the year. So there's going to be some really cool, I told her the shark video has to be overcoming your fear video. Like, I just think that would be so inspirational. So and she just took some beautiful scenery. It looked like the fish, everything I saw, it looked like an amazing trip, Shannon. So
it was.
I bet. I wish I was there. That would have been beautiful. So
me too. It sounds amazing.
I know. Who's been to Hawaii? Any of you guys?
I have never been to Hawaii. It's on my list.
Okay. No, it might be a retreat place in the future we'll have to think of, right? So it would be fun to have a weekend retreat in Hawaii at one point. So and you got a comment that sharks, that sounds amazing. Yes, Amber, look, because yep. I know.
I'm a little bit afraid to answer in the comments because my YouTube is not set up. So thank you. It was amazing, Amber. I did see that.
All right, great. Okay, well, let's go on. Our next guest is going to be Joey from the Veiled Cottage Witch. And we asked Joey to come on because we wanted to touch on ethics. And let me find Joey. Sorry, these little pictures are so little. Did I get Joey? So we want to talk about ethics. And when it comes to ethics, I guess Shannon wants to stay on there. I don't know what's going on.
I was going to say, Joey, you're looking like me.
I know, it's crazy.
I keep clicking and it keeps like going back. Okay. I got it. Yay!
There she is.
So I want to welcome Joey. She is here from the Veiled Cottage Witch. She is well loved in Sierra Vista, although her little cottage that she is in is adorable. It is in Huachuca City. And she is just well respected and loved in the neighborhood and in the area. And we feel very lucky. Look at Robert's like, woohoo, my bestie. We feel really lucky to have you. You've taught some classes at the center when we had the center in Sierra Vista. The spell crafting one was amazing. Tell us, Joey, a little bit about yourself. And then we asked you on just so that we could all have a conversation about ethics, because when you choose to, and I'm getting huge goosebumps as I say this, choose to read or choose to use any kind of tools to give messages to other people or mediumship, there comes a certain sort of ethical responsibility when you're doing that. And I feel like we need to address that since we're talking about everything spiritual and metaphysical on the show. And just, your thoughts. And we thought, what better person could bring that to light than you? And then we can open it up for all of us to kind of add in our 2 cents about how we feel or how we use ethics when we do our practices for different healing and reading modalities. So welcome, Joey, and take it away.
Hi, I'm Joey the Veiled Cottage Witch. I'm a folk witch. I am a metaphysical practitioner, an herbalist, and a high priestess of my coven. I love my coven sisters. They are the family that I've chosen. Sisters and brothers, because we have some brothers in there too. So basically, I've been studying witchcraft and magic and metaphysics for about 30 years now, and also tarot and oracle and other divination methods. I'm a scholarly witch, so I've done a lot of reading, a lot of research, and I know too much is what it is. And, there's a lot of files up here. So mainly when we talk about ethics, it's really very personal for each individual. But I did want to come on here and kind of squash some things. And I wanted to kind of bring to light some things that maybe clarify what I do and don't do as part of my ethical practice. But first, I wanted to clarify a big kind of thing that has been going around in this community for a long time. And I just wanted to kind of crush some people's little dreams a little bit, because I really do need to bring to light some things. So the rule of three, the Wiccan law, so to speak, where they say that whatever you do comes back to you times three. Now, this is a law that Gerald Gardner got from a fictional novel that he wrote called High Magic's Aid. And what happened was he used that to paint Wicca into a better light so that we could get recognized as a legitimate religion. So it's not a real thing. And I think people live by that, but they realize that goes against the law of physics. So, like, let's be real in the real world. And I just wanted to say that it is, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, not times three. So I really wanted to squash that. Let's science first, physics first. It's balance, right? So it's the law of cause and effect. We have to think about that first. Science first, physics first. So really what we're talking about with ethics is consequences for your action, okay? If you push somebody on the playground, you're going to get in trouble, period. If you do something harmful in magic, you're going to pay the coin. And paying the coin might be something happens to you. And that's just karma. That's just balancing the scales. So, in my opinion, we should all do by the golden rule, or what I like to reference in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, is just be excellent to each other. And that means in the real world and in the magical world. So one rule personally for me, and I can't say that everybody should follow it because everybody's ethics are different. But one rule that I follow exclusively is that I do not do spell work for other people. And this is besides my family, okay? I will do spell work for my family, but I will not do spell work for other people. That is a hard no. And the reason why is that for my spell work, for my personal spell work to work, I need to be emotionally invested. And if I do not know what they're experiencing personally, if I don't empathically know what's going on, and I'm not emotionally vested, I am not passionately invested, I need to be able to be there emotionally, physically. I need to be completely invested. Then then it's an empty spell for me. And so I don't do spell work for other people. Now, will I invite them over, or will I do spell consultations and give them advice on how I would do spell work? Absolutely. But I will not do spell work for other people. That's just my hard and fast rule. I won't do it. That's my ethics, because I don't want people to pay me money or anything like that for a spell that I know is going to be empty. It's not that I don't care, it's that I don't know. And the four, sides of the witch's pyramid: to know, to will, to dare, and to be silent. You have to have all four of those for magic to work. If I'm not emotionally invested, I don't know them, I don't, it's not going to work. That's why I don't do it. Now, cursing, hexing, jinxing. Personally, for me, have I done it? Yes. Do I recommend it as a first answer to any problem? Absolutely not. Let's take, for instance, if you feel like you need out of a relationship, maybe it's an abusive relationship. I'm going to sit down and talk to you about every mundane solution that you could possibly do before we try anything magically. Mundane before magical, always. I'm going to say, have you done anything? Is there any way, any family that you can stay with? Is there any place that you can go to feel safer? You know, I'm always going to give advice that is going to be on the physical plane. Have you called the police? Have you found a women's shelter? I'm always going to give that advice because magic is not always the answer. And it's not always the ethical way to solve a problem. And I think a lot of people think it is. Snap your fingers and fix all these situations. No, you got to do the work on the physical plane. Magic's not going to fix your life. Sometimes you have to fix your life, right? So I strongly recommend doing everything you can on the physical plane before you do magic, even if it's not cursing. You know, if you want to do a job spell, well, have you tried to go and get a job first? You know? So what I'm trying to say is magic should never be a crutch that you rely on to solve every problem. It's wonderful that it's there, but do the work first, you know? So that's where I stand, you know, on a magical level with that. Now, love spells. I know somebody's going to ask a question about love spells and ethics. Listen, love spells to attract a perfect partner, you know, if you want to make a list of, you know, he needs to be over this feet tall. I would love for him to have green eyes. I would love for him to have brown hair and to treat me right, blah, 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 blah. Sure, that's a wonderful way to attract the perfect person for you. But if you say, I need this exact person and cause them to leave their marriage or whatever, and manipulate that person to, you know, get them to love you. And if you think that's a good idea, first of all, never start a marriage with a kidnapping. And second of all, you're never going to truly know how that person feels about you. You're always going to know that you manipulated them. So I truly advise against that kind of manipulation. Always. So other than that, as far as ethics go, we need to be ethically sourcing our supplies. That means things that are overly harvested, such as Palo Santo, white sage. There are alternatives. You know, they're endangered. We don't need to use that. There are several things, herbs and herb alternatives to those things. We don't need to use those specific things. There's so many alternatives. Rosemary is a wonderful alternative and grows everywhere around here. We don't have to burn white sage. We can burn rosemary. We can go to local mines and buy crystals from there. We don't have to buy crystals online where they're being overly harvested. We need to be more ethically aware of where we're buying our things, our tools and our supplies. So that's what I have for you.
No, I love that. Thank you, Joey. So I want to just add to that, you talked a lot about spell work and magic work. And when I think of, I have studied Wicca and how many years now have I studied metaphysical studies? I've taken just about every kind of class there is, right? And I say this often about things is what it comes down to is an intention. So, sometimes when people talk about witchcraft or witches, they get kind of a bad condensation and, and people think, negatively of them. But back in the old days, the healers were kind of witches. That's what they were, known as. So witches are healers. Healers are witches. It all kind of ties in together. And my feeling is that it's all about your intention, right? When you say a prayer, when you want to make a spell, when you talk about being passionate, isn't being passionate about something like that is a big part of setting any kind of intention, of manifesting, of spell work. So really, when it comes down to it, all of these different modalities aren't that really different from each other. It's all about the intention you put into it. It's about the passion that you put behind it. It's what, you feel. So I just want to clarify that, we are open here. We are open to discussion to bring, all different kind of modalities in. So I've learned a lot with spell work from you when I took your class, from Vanessa, who taught some classes for us. It's all about your intention in picking herbs and crystals and things that you work with in all different metaphysical realms to create an intention or manifest something that you want. And to me, when I look at spell work, that's what I think of. I don't think of it as something like you said, cursing or hexing someone.
Right.
You can, but again, like you said, that comes back to you just like karma in a way. So I also just want to touch on when we talk about ethics, when you do card reading, and when I learned years ago, is that, words have power, right? And words, power, spell. But when you are reading for people or giving messages, your words have power, and I feel there's an ethical responsibility. And I was always taught that in all of my classes, that what you say really has an effect on other people. So again, when you go to, you might see that psychic sign flashing on the corner and go there, you've been drinking, having some fun with your friends, you want to get a reading. And that lady's like, oh, well, you have a curse on you. And for $200 more, I'll sell you some crystals. Right. And so that's where we get the negative condensation from, fortune telling, reading cards, as people think of it like as charlatans who take advantage and take your money. Right. Anyone who has ethics, who is good at what they're doing, or knowledgeable, or I can't think of the great word for it, is going to have an ethical practice and would not say that we are all here when we do readings, when we do mediumship. I feel we are all here to help heal. And I hear that from Robert all the time. He says all the time, he's here when he does reading, that's to heal. So if you're going to someone and you're trusting them to give you a reading and they start saying very negative things, I would be very cautious about that. I would caution anyone to walk away from a situation like that. But there are ethics. And when your words are powerful, people believe things. So if I said to someone, I saw in a card, maybe I would say the death card. The death card is not really a bad card. It's a card about rebirth and starting over. When one thing ends, another thing starts, right? So opening of new doors is how I think of the death card. But someone might see that, and, if I was to say, oh, something tragic's going to happen to you or somebody, you might walk away, and your belief, because you're manifesting that, can cause negative things to come true. So words are very powerful. So there is an ethical responsibility, I feel, that when you're reading or giving messages for anyone, that you need to be, very cautious about how you present and how you say things. And if you're truly trying to help people and be a healer, you will find a way to switch what you have to tell them, even if it's a negative thing, into a way that they can help maybe change that situation. And I feel, just personally, that's my opinion, is what we're all about. We're here to help heal and guide you when we give you messages, we give you readings, when Val does a mediumship reading. Like, it's all here to help you heal. It's here to give you messages. It's not a negative thing. So that's just my 2 cents that I wanted to add in on ethics, because I feel like it's very important to, have some ethics in what you say to people can have a powerful impact. And I want to open it up to if anyone has any questions, or if any of you guys want to add in. I know Val does mediumship reads. Val, what do you feel? Or Natalie?
Well, I've got a question for Joey too, but first I just want to confirm what you said. Well, I guess add on to what you said, that we are very careful and very ethically cautious when it comes to things. As we're reading for people, we're very careful about how we describe a passing. We're also very careful if we're doing psychic work. We don't talk about death. We don't talk about divorce. We don't talk about disease, illness, things like that. We might say something like, you might want to keep that doctor's appointment that I see that you have, as opposed to, dude, you're gonna, it's gonna be bad. We never say things like that, because like you said, we can confirm that for people and they will rise up to meet, even though it may not be true. But my question for you, Joey, is this, because I am a medium and I'm in a lot of these little groups where people will solicit readings. They'll say, hey, I need a reading. Could you tell me about this person in this picture? One of the things I saw the other day that actually made me think of you, Joey, and I wanted your opinion on this, is somebody said, my son is making really bad decisions. He's doing terrible things. I need to know what he's up to so that I can get ahead of this and I can make sure I intercept. Your thoughts?
I've actually had that happen to me before. I had somebody get a hold of me and wanted me to check up on her son. And I wonder if it's the same person. Could have been. And I said, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. That is outside of my ethical repertoire. Mm-hmm. And she said, why? And she asked. And I said, to me, that feels like spying. Mm-hmm. And I don't do that. And this lady was so appalled that I that I almost like called her spying. But like, sometimes you have to shine a mirror in people and say, look what you're doing. Look what you are asking of me. Because it is okay to have boundaries. Mm-hmm. It is, you have to in this business. You have to. And if you say no and they are pushing your boundary, you have a right to tell them why.
Right. I agree. I've had that presented a couple of times, and I've handled it a little less directly because I tend to not be good at really firm boundaries. But my answer to that is, you're asking this question. Obviously, your intuition is being raised. What kind of help do you think you might need to solicit in order to help the situation? I always put it back on them. You put it back on a very firm way, and I tend to like softball it a little. And they usually go, yeah. And then I go into the ethics thing of, ethically, I don't want to spy on your loved one. I don't think that's okay.
Right. I mean, there's zero shame in my game. Lately, I work with the Morrigan, and the Morrigan helps me set boundaries. She's a very strong sovereignty deity, and she really helps me to, set those boundaries with people, because in the end, I really cannot compromise on my principles. Mm-hmm. When I do, I get physically ill. So I can't do it. It's automatic, like energetic boomerang right at me. So yeah, I mean,
it reminds me of when you're trying to fix other people instead of fix yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So I know Robert said it'd be like me peeping through your drapes, no boundaries. So thanks for that, Robert.
Yeah.
So No, definitely. So lots to think about, when it comes to ethics, and it's a topic, that's definitely something worthwhile. And if somebody's new to reading or new to mediumship or new to all of this, it is something important that hopefully the person they're training with does emphasize the ethics, because I think there is a big part to that. So, and I know most of the teachers that we've worked with have mentioned that when they're doing things as well. So, any more questions for Joey on ethic before I ask her a couple questions about her business? No? Okay. All right, Joey, that was awesome. Definitely. And I learned a lot too from that. Tell us a little bit about, besides, being the Veiled Cottage Witch, you have an apothecary behind you. I don't know if we can see that. I don't know. It's such a cute little shop she has.
It's so good. Everything she makes is amazing.
Tell us about what you do. You're at the farmer's market. So you also have a website, and tell us how people can contact you and the services and products that you offer.
Well, I go down to the Bisbee Community Market. I try to make it every Saturday, but I've missed the last couple Saturdays. But we will be there this Saturday. I also have a website, theveiledcottagewitch.com. You can sign up for classes, workshops, but I have my shop, and it's in two different categories. One is holistic healing items, where you can buy teas, tinctures, diffuser oils, healing salves, all kinds of wonderful things. You name an ailment, I have a remedy for you. My best-selling item is my F-Off Pain, which is a tea that is very tasty and will knock your socks off. It takes your pain right away. It is tasty and wonderful. And then I have my spell and ritual supplies. These are where all my wonderful oils are. Val is very much a fan of my third eye oil. Bobby loves it too. The third eye oil will open up your third eyes, wonderful right before divination. I also have bath salts. I am also doing facial products now. So I have a toner and a eternal youth facial elixir, and I'm using it and I'm loving it. I also have incense and spell powders and floor wash and all kinds of lovely things, sprays. If you don't like the smoke bundles, I also have liquid smoke cleanse. So it's just sage in a bottle. And so wonderful things all on there. And you can book readings and classes right there on my website. My reader right now, I'm not doing readings, but you can book Bobby Fierro from Wild Raven Tarot right on my website.
Great. Okay. And it's veiledcottagewitch.com?
Yep, the veiledcottagewitch.com.
All right. I'm going to post on the website. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to post on the website how you can contact Angel and Joey. So if you go to the website, alittlebitofkindness.org, I think it's down in the comments back there. You can go ahead and find out. They're also on our practitioner page. So if you want to book a service with them, you can go to the practitioner page and find them there. I'm also hopeful that they're going to do some videos and beyond the app that we have coming up this fall. So you will see them. You also can check out Joey and all her social media. She's posting on Facebook, YouTube. Check out all of her channels and her daily readings. So we love her. So thank you so much, Joey, for being on the show today, and stick around. If you like our show, subscribe. If you're listening to this as a podcast, like and subscribe as well. I'm not sure which podcast you might be listening to, but we are on Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Look for our app, A Little Bit of Kindness, coming up anytime between fall and the end of the year. We're going to have have great practitioners in different categories. We're going to have yoga, meditation, readings of the day, positive affirmations, healing, magic categories with all kinds of great practitioners. I'm trying to bring you from across the US, showcasing their talents, what they have, so we can eventually start doing weekend workshops around the US throughout the year. I think it's going to be really awesome. So I want to go ahead and who's doing the healing today? The crystal.
Oh, that's me.
Okay. Don't sound so excited, Shannon. You didn't bring the shark with you. It's okay.
Okay, so what they're referencing is my trip to Hawaii. And while I was in Hawaii, I decided, okay, I have the upcoming crystal for this chat. So I asked my team, which crystal do I need? And they directed me to the cherry blossom agate. Okay, I'll turn it around. Right. I don't know if you can see in some
what
aspects.
Colors? Because you can't really see the colors.
Oh,
what colors?
There's pink in there. There's a soft pink, like an amber type color there. Okay. And then clear. So you're asking a colorblind person.
Okay.
What color? But at the same time, those I can definitely tell. Okay. So to the best of my ability on those. Trust me, it is pretty, okay? There's little flowers in there, all different kinds of things. So, if you'd like to see it in person, you can, reach out to me and I'll bring it. But
Shannon, does it smell like a cherry blossom?
It did where I picked it up at, because there were flowers right behind the ladies' booth. So yes, but what resonated for me at the time was it does my word for the year. I don't know if people do this or not, but my word for the year is resilience. And one of the things that this does is it helps promote resilience in your personal growth, inner peace, connecting to nature, which I thought was very appropriate for the time that I was there, because I was there to rejuvenate, reconnect, and enhance my creativity, and decide which way, for transformational purposes, that I was trying to grow. So again, when you just ask and you put it out there and you let yourself be guided, you do receive your answers. So here again, for healing and so forth, the cherry blossom agate. And I think my friends that don't have one with me in the group are going to add the crystal and enhance that.
Show if someone else has one? Can we show them and then do the healing? Who's got one?
Yeah.
Anybody
have one?
That is one I do not have, which is surprising.
All right, you're special. See? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's
we
go
knew
ahead.
She was special.
She said she went to Hawaii. To figure stuff out. Was it the crystal or the shark that helped you figure stuff out?
There was a lot to figure out. I'm good. It's all right.
I'm going to put us up as a group to do this, so everyone can use their hands. All right. Here we go.
Right.
If you want to contribute, we're going to do a group healing. So if you don't have a crystal, that's okay. So go for it, Shannon. Lead us on this group healing.
Okay. Mother, Father, God, Universal Spirit, I ask that you take the energy and the light and the love that is flowing through each of us, through our crystals, and out to each and every one of you. May it touch each of you in whatever manner is to your highest good. In your loving name we pray. Amen.
All right. And if there's anyone you want to add a special healing to, go ahead and you can quietly say their name or say it out loud and where you are. And we're sending that healing love and energy to them as well. I know a lot of us have been going through a rough time, and a lot of our loved ones. So let's send a little extra love out there.
I'm thinking of Tiara and her family and her son. She's one of our spirit tribe sisters.
Okay. Feeling that heat and love. I love it when we do this. Okay. My crystal is on fire. All right. So, did I say like and subscribe our channel if you like that? Our guest next month is going to be Olivia from Metapsychic. She has a podcast. She is a medium. She has a lot of social media out there. She is an animal communicator and does animal readings. So if you want to tune in next month, that's who's going to be our guest. What other things do we have to discuss? Who had a task that we haven't covered yet? Anybody? No.
We heard Val went to somewhere. Where did Val go?
Val, where'd you go? We're jealous.
We are jealous.
I went to a really wonderful place in it's in Safford. It's called Essence of Tranquility. It's a mineral hot spring in Safford, and it's only about 2 hours away from where we are here in Cochise County. And it was really cool. It was really quaint. If you could have fashioned something in an aesthetic that was probably created out of just like cobbled together pieces and buildings, probably began in the 1960s and got painted and repainted. It hasn't really changed a whole lot. That's what this place is. And the wonderful part about this is all of that means it's not very corporate. It's very, very casual, very come as you are, very relaxed, and a very relaxing experience. The other thing I found is it really wasn't that expensive. We stayed in a little casita, which was basically a large converted shed, but very well appointed. Had everything we needed. It had towels, it had a refrigerator, it had an air conditioning unit and beds, right? I mean, it was wonderful. It didn't have a bathroom on site, and it didn't have a shower, but there were facilities available. Plus, there was a communal kitchen, and you could store stuff in the refrigerator there. You could cook, you could do all kinds of things. And it was just a wonderful environment. Now, I went with two of my dear spiritual friends, Amy and Beth, who just made the entire experience so beautiful and elevated. We talked about everything. We talked about spirit. We talked about life. We talked about girlfriends. We talked about so many things. I couldn't even begin, but I left. I feel like I floated, and then I floated out of there. I mean, it was such a complete reset. The hot springs are hot, much hotter than you can imagine on a day when it's 102 degrees outside. But there's an outside spa as well. The outside spa doesn't feel like it gets nearly as hot because there's a little more airflow. But there are doors on the smaller spas and the smaller soaking tubs. And you can release your inner spirit as much as you like. I mean, they're really, really great. And staying there also covered the cost of using the tubs as much as we wanted to. Plus, they've got camping there if that's more your preference. But it was wonderful. And the last day we were there, this was so cool. My friend and I are just kind of kicking back, and she looks and she goes, the owner she looks and she goes, "Oh, you guys are still here." And we said, yeah, we're going to leave a little later today. When is checkout? She goes, "I don't know. Whatever you feel like." You know, you guys are I thought maybe you were staying longer. I couldn't remember. I mean, this is how casual it was and how welcoming and sweet. You cannot make reservations on the website. That is probably the only weird downside. The website looks like it was created in about 1996. And not really updated. So that kind of gives you an idea. But if you ever do want to go, azhotmineralspring.com. It's azhotmineralspring.com. There's a phone number on there. You give them a call. You give them a credit card to save your space for as long as you want. The only thing she did tell us was in the summer, no one is crazy enough except for Beth, Amy, and I to go and soak these hot springs. So you can get in whenever you want. But in the winter, that's when people are like, you know what would be a good idea. So really plan ahead if you plan to go for that.
Thanks, Val. No, I tried to go when my daughter came last Christmas when I was here, and she's like, "Oh no, you've got to book this way ahead of time at that time of year." And then, like you said, the prices were really reasonable, and I was excited because it was only a couple hours away. But yeah, so just want to throw a shout out that if you haven't signed up on the website, a little bit of kindness.org, you want to get notifications of when the app comes out, when the show is going, when we have classes and workshops. We just did, Natalie, we did a workshop, or we did a whole half a day over there in Sierra Vista. Let me find Natalie. Natalie, tell us about the little event we had on Saturday. How did it go?
Yeah, it was a wonderful. We put on a mini retreat for about 5 women. We had breath work, crystal sound healing bowls, and a manifestation journaling workshop that they were able to do. And then we opened it up to healing for the public could join us at the end. And there was tarot reading, oracle reading, Reiki healing, angel Reiki, and Shannon was doing her
quantum human
design.
Thank
you. Quantum human design readings, which are always
it's been a long day.
Oh, it has been. And yeah, it was just so much fun. I enjoyed it. The feedback was amazing. The venue was really nice. Okay. So we had a great time putting it on.
All right, we may do more. So we have a giveaway today. So I think Natalie's been keeping track of names. Do you need a minute to do that, or? Okay. Also, this Saturday coming up, Kendra, we're going to be at the Tucson Psychic Fair. I'm not going to be there, but Kendra and Danelle, maybe, I think, are going to have a table there. So we're going to start being at psychic fairs around the U.S. just to promote the upcoming app and our show. So if you want to stop by the table, maybe just throw Kendra up. And then if you didn't put your name in the comments and you want a chance to win the prize, Joey's giving something away from her Apothecary. Drop your name in the comments right now. Natalie's been catching your name as you're dropping comments in there. Kendra, tell us what you're going to be there signing your book, right?
I am. I'm going to be there signing my book. I believe that Danelle is going to be there as well. She may be doing some energy healing for those who requested, and we're going to be promoting this show, our Spirit Tribe Tea Talk, and the upcoming app that we're working on collectively here with you, Frankie. I did want to point out, just for those of you who may be listening or watching from across the country, we're most of us are based here in Arizona. So when we talk about a place like Safford, that may sound strange to you, but I figured with Val giving the website of AZ, that would be a clue. But most of the time when we talk about Tucson or Sierra Vista or Huachuca City or Bisbee, we're all based here in southeastern Arizona. Not all of us, but most of us are. So just wanted to throw that out there. So Tucson, or if you're in anywhere near Tucson, come by and see us. I think that they have a website, Frankie, TucsonPsychicFair.com maybe, or something similar to that.
Yeah, they're going to be there. And I think they have all kinds of different people there. So we're going to have a table. Stop by if you want to get more information. If you're a practitioner and you want to be on our website as in our networking, that's what we're all about, is networking and building community. Join us, contact me through the website, a little bit of kindness.org. And if we are looking for people to be part of the app with educational videos, informational videos, fun videos, with whatever modality you have to offer to share with the public. And we also will put you on our network so people can contact you directly if they want to book a private session. If you want to do a workshop through our online workshops, we have that available. We're also working on adding a service page. So if you want to provide your services and you don't have your own website, that's going to be something coming up as well. So we're just trying to we're trying to build community and connection throughout the US and bring all the practitioners together. So thank you for joining us. Next month, remember, Olivia from Meta Psychics is going to be on, so be sure to join us the second Wednesday of the month. And Natalie, what do we got going on for the prize winner? Let me get Natalie up here.
All right, I'm ready to spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. Who feels lucky?
And go.
Bobby feels lucky. He's like, give it to me.
He has been funny all night. I've been reading his comments and laughing so hard.
And you're not old, by the way.
All right, we have Bonnie Price. She has won. What has she won?
Ah. All right, Joey, are you still here with us?
Yes.
All right, Joey, what are you giving away? Oh, wrong person.
I
I had to find the little picture that matches. Where are you, Joey? Wave your hand in your picture. Oh, you're up top. Okay. Sorry, my screen is really little since we have so many of us on. There's Joey. All right, Joey, what are you giving away today?
am giving Bonnie some of my lunar healing rejuvenating bath salts. Look at these little containers. Aren't they great?
I love them.
They are
Perfect.
so cute.
This is
All
my
right.
favorite and best smelling bath salts. It has Epsom salt, pink Himalayan salt, horsetail, jasmine, rose, lemon balm, and lotus essential oil. And you can, if you don't want to clean up the mess, it has a nice little muslin bag to go with it so you can hang it from the shower.
Oh, that's a great idea. Like a shower's it
Steamer.
releases. Yeah. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if you are the winner, I am dropping my email in the comments. Be sure to email me your email so we can get your contact information. We don't want you to put it on the comments here out to everybody, Bonnie. So go ahead and email me. It's Frankie. And just send the email to the healingangel1010@gmail, and I will make sure we get that out to you. And let me know if you are local to Sierra Vista or if you are not. So, all right. Well, bye, Bobby. Bobby's running. Everybody, Bonnie said thank you. All right, guys. So I want to thank everyone for joining us today at the show. I'm so excited that we were all here and this went great. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Joey. This will be recorded and on YouTube. So if you want to watch it as soon as I get editing it later tonight, it will be on YouTube. So it will be recorded there and you can watch it and share it with your friends and family. And again, like, subscribe, join us as we promote community and build connections throughout the US. So thank you and tell your friends to watch the show next month.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Take care.